Hey there everybody, this is Mrs. Marano at the barn. I'm up at Camp Chaminade where I volunteer with trail rides and go ride horses, and I just wanted to show you guys part of bringing horses in and taking care of horses and take you guys along with me on the weekend for a change. I'm here with my husband Joe, and he's the cameraman right now, and we're just going to show you a couple things for saying hi to the horses, getting them ready, and things like that. So this is their barn, and I'm going to go pick up Yuma's halter. That's the horse I ride. So we can bring her in. Here's her halter and all the halters of all the horses.
Hello, I'm Joe, Janine's husband. I'm going to go get my horse.
Here's Clem, and oh, Trace wants to get in on the action. This brown horse is Trace. And here's Clem. And Joe will lead Clem down to the barn. Okay, now we're going to go out and get Yuma. She belongs to camp. So this is my favorite horse. This is Yuma. She's about 12 years old. She's a mix of breeds, probably quarter horse and Percheron or quarter horse Friesian. Hi. Want to go on a ride? She's saying hi. Okay. And everybody else wants to come too. Okay, so we're going to put the halter on her. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. And we'll bring her down to the stall and get her some food. All the horses out here are just kind of standing around, and they get hay in the evenings so they can eat at night and be warm. We'll give Yuma and Clem grain before we ride them. Hi. So they have some energy to go out and play in the snow. I know. Okay, let's go. So she is now tied at the front of her stall. We're going to go get her some food. So you can see in here, this is some oats, what's known as, we got grain, we got corn in here, and some pellets, good stuff for horses. Horses don't really need to eat grain every day unless they're working every day, but because we're going to take Yuma out on a ride, we typically ride for at least 2 hours, we're going to give her some good grain. So she gets almost a full coffee can full of grain, and she's going to be awfully happy about that.
Clem gets a full can of grain because he's got a high metabolism and gets hungry quick. Alright, Clem, what do you say? Oh boy.
That's his one trick.
Yum yum.
Good boy. Yep, Clem is a thoroughbred Appaloosa mix. Appaloosa gives him that really neat spotted coloring, and a thoroughbred is like the race horses, so he's very tall and very thin and fast. You always want to brush a horse before you're going to ride them and strap their saddle on, because you don't want any dirt or mud that's going to be rubbed into their coat. So we do the curry comb first, and that just helps circulate her blood and get all the dust up out of her coat. Hi. Hi. Move over your mane. Good girl. So now you can see that she really is dirty, because we just brought all the dust and stuff up on top of her. So I'm going to switch to the finish brush. And this brush is just going to flick all that stuff off of her, which is tricky because with all the friction the dust will try to stick back to her, but I'll get off what I can. Oh, your mane. Good girl. Then I would go around. I'm going to do the other side the same way, and kind of hard, but I don't know if you can see her feet. Yuma has very, very big feet. And about every 6 weeks she needs to have them trimmed. Her hooves are kind of like toenails, and the edges are just trimmed so they don't get too long. Horses are majestic and beautiful and wonderful and messy. So yeah, I have a little cleanup to do. Yep. Thanks, Yuma. Thanks for making that mess. Yep. Now the barn is clean again. Okay, so now we got the horse, we fed the horse, we cleaned the horse. Now we're going to get the saddle on. And Yuma's saddle is kind of heavy. Saddles range in weight, so I'm going to do my best to get it up there without plopping it on her back. Start with it a little farther forward, it'll slide back. Step out. Stay there, good girl. There we go. So now I have to walk around the other side, put some of this stuff down. I don't want to just fling it because then it'll smack her. She won't like that very much. I'm making sure it's not too tight to her back. There should be an air pocket up there so it's not pressing on her spine. And now we're ready to actually attach the saddle. So this here is the cinch, or the girth, if you read English. And this is the latigo. Good girl. So this is what actually keeps the saddle on the horse. See if we can't get this out of the way. I can see a little bit better. So I've gone around twice, now I'm going to come through, make it look like a number 4, make a loop, and pull it through. Her cinch is pretty loose right now. I will check it again before I get on her and tighten it up slowly and gently. Make sure it's the correct tightness for me to get on, but not so tight that it's uncomfortable for Yuma. And then this is the breast collar. This goes around the front of her on her chest to keep the saddle from slipping back too far. And it clips to her cinch on the bottom. Good girl. And now she's ready to go out, have a drink of water, and I'll be ready to check her cinch and get on. Hey guys, so here's something else about taking care of a horse. Here's Joe with mane and tail and groom. This wonderful solution right here. And he's going to be putting it on Clem because Clem has a little bit of what's known as rain rot. Rain rot happens in the wet spring or in a wet winter when horses get it's a fungus that grows on their coat when it is too damp and wet out. And it will stay there happily unless you get it off. And it just makes the horse have kind of crusty scabs growing, and it feels itchy and not good. So he is going to put on this mane, tail, groom rain rot remover on Clem, rubbing it in. And then as he rides Clem, it will stay on and kind of work into his coat. And Clem already feels a lot better than a week ago, where he had probably, how many scabs do you think he had a week ago?
This whole area was scabs under his hair.
Ooh, and how many now?
There's just a few. I can only just feel a few.
Oh, good. So okay.
And then when I put the saddle blanket on, it will help rub it in and keep him from getting cold because it's wet and it's cold out. So I put it on right before I put his saddle on.
So now we're going to lead the horses over, let them have a drink of water, because we're going to be out for at least 2 hours, if not more. And then I'll put her bridle on her head and get on her. We'll be ready to hit the trails. There you go. I love how her ears jerk when she swallows. Are you distracted?
Clem, you need a drink, buddy? Good boy.
That was better.
Mm-hmm.
She's still kind of looking out over there. I'm gonna ask her to move her butt around a little bit. One more. Good. Yeah. When she's licking and chewing, she's thinking, she's agreeing, she's showing that she understands what I want. And if you notice, she's looking at me, and her eyes are softer. She's not checking over her shoulder right now anymore. So that tells me that she's connected up and she's focused on what I would like her to do. So now I can check her saddle, put on her bridle that's over my arm, and get on her and know that she's tuned into me. And she's still aware of other things. But she's not dancing around like she was when we first came in here. She's standing now, and her head's dropped, so she's a lot calmer. Good girl. Okay, so now I'm going to put her bridle on. This bit goes in her mouth. The chain goes under her chin, and her ears will come through here. Good girl. Oh, it's okay.
Yuma does not particularly like a bridle.
So I'll just hang out here. I'm not going to try to rush and make it happen. Want her to be comfortable. Yeah. And then I'm actually going to stick my thumb into the corner of her mouth here and ask her to open her mouth up. Horses actually have a gap right here where there's no teeth. They have teeth in front and teeth behind the gap, but right there, there's no teeth. Good girl. In goes my thumb. Come on. In goes the bit. You're very tall at moments like this. I tuck in one ear and then I'll tuck in the other. Good girl. Good girl. And I'm working on trying to do it from one side instead of having to switch sides when I bridle her. So we'll see how that goes.
Clem is always the curious horse.
That went really well. This hair is her forelock. I will untuck it so she doesn't look like a dork when we go riding. Good girl. And then lastly, come here. This is the throat latch. Goes underneath her throat. She's very woolly, so I'm just going to do it one hole, and that would keep the bridle from getting taken off by a tree, because otherwise, if you didn't have this, you could get a stick underneath here, and if she backed up, the whole thing would just come right off her face. Not good. Alright. So, check her cinch, and then I will get on her. I'll move my rope over. Let's see how you look. You look good. You look ready. So I'm actually going to watch her breathing right now. When she breathes out, I'll tighten up her cinch a little bit. Out. It's a good thing that I bothered to cinch her again. That's a big difference. Double check. I can still get 2 fingers under there, so that tells me that it's loose enough for her. Good girl. I'm going to put my helmet on. You should wear a helmet when you ride a horse, just like a bike or a skateboard or anything else. Because we're going to ride along the road. I'm going to ride through a bunch of trees and big rocks. So wear a helmet. Even though it looks like an egghead, it's worth it. Reins over her neck. Got him shortened up. Big horse. Good girl. See if she can back up. Nice. Good girl. She's pretty ready to go. If you guys can learn one thing from this video, please learn this. When I want this horse to go, I do not shake her reins. I don't take these and shake them, because if I did that, the bit in her mouth gets yanked. That doesn't mean anything to her. That doesn't feel good. So when you want a horse to go somewhere, instead of doing it like Disney and shaking the reins like a fool, you can tell I'm really passionate about this. You look where you want to go, you point where you want to go, and she goes. Good girl. Good girl. Ooh. Ooh. She wants to be by her best friend, Clem. And that's just a little bit about horses. We're going to go out, we're going to go for a ride, then we'll come back, take their saddles off, rub them down, give them a little snack, and turn them out. Hope you guys enjoyed being with us at the ranch a little bit.